myself surprised this week reading Myth 1 in our Simonson text regarding copyright laws. A lot of the myths had certain myths that he listed about copyright laws had, you know, a couple things here or there that surprised me. But all of Myth 1 was new to me and something I didn't realize. I did not realize that unpublished works were protected by copyright laws. That was something new to me. So it's good to know, especially as a teacher with all the copying we do and looking for resources and trying to add and enhance our curriculum. As far as who should be in charge of policing and protecting the institution from violating copyright laws, I really believe that I've seen it done several ways, I guess, over the years, and one particular way I think works best. But let me kind of explain what I've seen in elementary schools as an elementary teacher of many years. I've been in schools where teachers just had an open door to the copy room, and you could go in and make your own copies as needed. You just had to maybe sign a clipboard of how many copies you were getting so they could keep track, which is, of course, convenient for the teacher, but then who's seeing what's being copied? Nobody, just the teacher. So then you have to hope that your teachers are educated on copyright laws, and you have to hope that they're going to be honest and ethical in respecting those copyright laws. I've been in schools where any of the secretaries will make copies. You can turn in a copy request with your master copy, and they'll make copies for you. And in some of those situations, secretaries were so busy with other responsibilities that they didn't really care. They weren't going to look at it. They weren't going to scrutinize it. They were going to go make the copies and put them in your box. So that wasn't always the best way either for having somebody looking out for the school's interests as far as not violating copyright laws. A third thing that I've seen that seems to work very well is having one secretary, or it might be one part-time person, maybe a parent who's volunteering, that is solely what we call the copy lady at my last school where I taught. And that lady was in charge of making copies. You'd put them in her box with a copy request, what you wanted copied, front and back, how many copies. And she was very good about coming to you and saying, you know, this has a copyright law, or you're not going to be able to copy this, or this would violate this aspect of a copyright law. And so we'd find other ways to either be able to copy the same information, maybe from a different, in a different way, from a different source. But it seems like when that's somebody's sole job, they're able to focus on that, take it seriously, and have the integrity to protect the institution. So in a sense, yeah, I guess you're saying that that person is copyright police, but with the idea that they are helping your school to maintain integrity and practice legal and ethical obligations as far as copyright laws. I suppose as far as personal dilemmas or ethical dilemmas that person might enter into, I can think of a couple. I'm sure it'd be very easy if things are getting hectic, if they're busy, if they're not very organized, they could look at a copy and say, oh, well, she only wants 3 of them, or if the teacher only asked for 5 copies. It's not very many, so even though it violates the copyright law, I'll just go ahead and do it. So I thought about number. You know, if they think that they're not copying very many, they might not care. Another kind of dilemma I thought they might come across is what's being copied. Maybe they look at it and say, oh, well, this company or this person or these people, these authors, they're not really going to know we copied it, so does it really matter? And I also thought about personal relationships. Sometimes if you're maybe this person who's in charge of copying and guarding the school's infringement of copyright laws, they could say, well, I'm friends with this person, I don't really want to tell them no, they really, really need these copies, or just different relationships that have been built over the years. So you really need a person who's strong, who's not afraid to tell people no, maybe not afraid to help people research how to go about finding the same material in the same way. Definitely whoever is going to be in charge of protecting the school ethically and legally with copyright laws needs to be a person of integrity, and who is first and foremost going to look out for the interests of the school or the educational institution as far as their legal and ethical obligations to copyright laws.